Hi everyone, Jared Johnson here with Day Traders FX. Hopefully you guys all had a wonderful, fantastic weekend and you're ready to get back into the markets. I am doing this Monday. This is my Monday watch list webinar, and I'm doing it obviously early. It's Sunday and it's about noon. We just got word that my wife will be taken into the hospital and labor will be started Monday morning. So we are going to be a little bit out of touch Monday and Tuesday. So I figured I'd get this watch list out and get you guys a couple of setups that I think are going to be absolute money this week while I'm a little bit indisposed. Okay, so as always, it's a great time to have a look at the website, Day Traders FX. You can get a free trial. You click on join right there and you can get a free trial to our trade room with the live daily trade sessions, or you can get a free trial to just the website where you can see some of the trades that we post, all of the trades we post actually, and recordings of all of the live sessions. So we'd love to have you with us. Just visit daytradersfx.com and click on the join button and you can get a free trial set up right there. Okay, we have got a lot of news this week. It's going to be a crazy and exciting week, kind of both. And starting the week off, we've got interest rate announcements from Australia. That's going to be a big deal. Trade balance from Australia, retail sales, that's going to be a big. Monday is a big day for Australia, so just get ready to see total craziness happen Monday night for all the Aussie pairs. And we've got some Aussie pairs we're looking at that will be interesting to keep an eye on and see how they play out. We have trade balance coming Tuesday for U.S. and Canada, definitely worth keeping an eye on. And then Tuesday afternoon, we have employment numbers for New Zealand, always good to keep an eye on. Going into Wednesday, ADP numbers for the U.S., definitely a big one, and employment numbers for Australia, definitely a big one. And then going into Thursday, the big one that we'll be keeping an eye out on, definitely the interest rate vote for the U.K., that's a big deal. And then we have the ECB press conference as well on Thursday. So again, another big crazy wild move, and then we just polish it all off with some Friday morning madness. We have employment numbers for Canada and employment numbers for the US. So we have employment numbers for Australia, US, Canada, New Zealand. I think I got everybody this week, so it will be a pretty big week as far as news goes, so keep an eye on that. Here are the setups that I'm looking for at the moment. Now, with so much news this week, some of these things will change. As far as everything I'm looking at here, none of this will necessarily change, but we'll have more setups as the week progresses on because of so many setups that we have. So that information and so on will be imparted to my group, the Day Traders FX group, both website members and chat room members, and we'll talk about more setups, get some pending orders posted, and some of that stuff. So the weekly watch list that I'm looking at so far starts with this euro dollar. I'm watching this double bottom that we have in the works. We're going to look at that in just a moment. And I'm looking for a bounce or a break. One of those two, but 120 is our real target. So what do I mean, a bounce or a break? Well, the euro dollar, if you watched what I sent out last week, I sent out a video or more of just a post on euro dollar and what was going on there. And we talked about the fact that we want to be short 12600, and you can see 12600 broke, pulled back just a little bit, has made a nice little move down because I identified this head and shoulders pattern. We have a nice head, shoulder, shoulder with a really crazy looking nice trend line right there, but we have a very steady neckline, very nicely placed neckline just above 12600, like 12610-ish. So that broke. We had a nice little move down. Now what we're watching for is the bounce of this. Basically, this is 12500. We've hit 12500. We've got this head and shoulders pattern. Now, what we can expect on a head and shoulders pattern is that head to neckline movement is about 275 pips. So 275 pips below about 12600 puts us down into down breaking that 12500 by a good little spot, but remember we're looking for 120 to really get hit, and so this 275 pips below 12600 could really get us started from there. Now, of course, this is a measured movement. This is a price projection kind of situation, but I have found that price projections on head and shoulders patterns play out very nicely. But what we need to look for is how 12500 is going to go. Is it going to hold? Is it going to bounce? And so on. So what I would like to do with 12500, if it holds, I would like to buy, or excuse me, I would like to sell any rallies that we see on 12500. Number one, remember we've got this 15-minute chart that is giving us just a little tiny bit, not much, but it's giving us a little bit of a setup. And so we might just get a nice little bounce off of that and get a good little short-term trade. We're at 43%, which isn't amazing, but max pips 112, and we've hit 114. It's a good spot for the euro dollar to bounce, head up into this 200 moving average and hit some of these pivots up in this general area before continuing down. So there will be some opportunities to buy against this low and target 200 moving average, or you can wait for a break and target that 200 moving average as well and grab a little bit of a smaller profit but have a safer entry. So again, we're probably going to see a decent little bounce off of this for at least a couple of pips, but I'm 100% looking for euro dollar to break through 12500 and head very, very nicely into this nice little low back here of 120 and even potentially further. I don't know why the euro dollar wouldn't really make a move down into even the mid to low teens, which is something none of us have seen in a very long time. The euro dollar got down here to about 115, 116 back in 2005, and I remember that. I watched that and I saw that, and then I watched it climb all the way up to 160. So euro dollar is kind of all over the place. At least the last several years, it has found a lot of support right around 120. So I'm not very, very confident that it's going to make a move below 120, but I'm very confident that we're going to get a move into 120. So we're looking for that. So again, watch for this bounce. If we do get a bounce, then we'll have a nice little 15-minute chart set up to buy that euro dollar up into some of these levels. Otherwise, if it just breaks, if it breaks 12500, let's be ready to continue riding this pair down. So looking for that, loving that, great little setup. Back to the list here, dollar CAD is interesting. We have a big breakout from last week. I'd like to buy the dips on that, and I'm looking to target 1500. So that's where we've got a nice little setup here. There we go. There's dollar CAD. So dollar CAD made this nice little move. We don't have anything on the indicator, nothing there. Made a nice little breakout, and it's pulling back just a little bit. We've got some Canadian announcements this week, so that could get pretty exciting. But with this nice little move up, I think we're going to have a very, very easy time getting into this 200 moving average, which is just the top of the trend line on this monthly chart here. It's the top of the trend line of the last couple of, last 2 years, really. And that puts us up at about 11500 to about 11550, right in that general area. I think the dollar CAD will have no problem whatsoever reaching that level. So overall, I'd like to just buy some dips. Ideally, I'd like to get in around 112. You can see we're about 112.65. I don't know where the market's going to open this week. It could open anywhere. But if we get some moves down into 11200, 11220, somewhere in there, I'll be looking to buy dollar CAD and trade it up into those highs. So nice little move there. Great overall picture on this dollar CAD. Aussie New Zealand is our next one we're looking at here. I like being long above 112.80, but this is a level we've got to keep a close eye on. Aussie New Zealand is an interesting one. We had a very, very nice bull flag right here. Hopped around, made a bigger dip than I'd like to see, but then it ultimately broke this high and this whole flag pattern. So even though that dipped far enough down, I don't think that's going to be enough to really keep us out of this. Now currently we have a 1 hour chart set up, but it's at 9%, so this can really go a good distance. Max pips that we've seen on this is about 245, and currently it's about 80. So we have a good little bit of room that this Aussie New Zealand could make its way up before we have to worry about this really turning into a 1 hour chart setup. So what we see here is Aussie New Zealand has broken this nice little flag pattern. Remember, this is a pretty pretty intense resistance level. We've got this support down here that's right around 109.30. If we go right down to kind of some of those lows, about 109.25, really nice little supported level. We've got this great resistance up here, which is around 112.80. So if we can stay above that, you can see that it made that break right before the market closed, and then it started to pull back just a hair. As long as it can kind of hold this general area, then I think we're in good shape. But if it gets too much below, then this could just be chop, and we could be coming off of the top of this, nice little channel that we're in. But if that channel can hold, this is a great trade to really take for the long haul. You can see that we're at least coming off nice 10 and 12 year lows, and I really like buying this thing long term up into some of those highs. So Aussie New Zealand looks really, really great. I like that one a bunch. Okay, so just a couple more real quick, namely gold and New Zealand dollar. Gold is super interesting. We took a nice 200 pip trade on gold, which was fantastic. Sadly, we got out really, really super early. We were in at 1220, and we got out at 1200, and you can see that it's run down a few hundred pips beyond where we exited. But it was a nice trade. We made some nice profits on it. Remember that gold is at a crucial level. This 1180 area, 1180 hit, 1180 hit once again, bounce, and now we've broken through it. You can see that's a weekly chart. Now we're below that 1180. It didn't make a huge run below it, but it made a huge run getting to it. It had to run like 450 pips just to get to that level, and then it ran through it by another 200 pips really, and then it pulled back a little bit. So even though it didn't make a huge push through that, it had to make a big run to even get to that level, and then it pounded right through it. So I think gold is ready for even a bigger move down. Here's what I have been forever looking for on gold. Let me go back to this chart real quick here. And if we look at our monthly chart on gold and we just zoom this thing out a little bit, if we go back to some lows of like 2000, 1999, even 98, and we see this whole move right here, you can see that gold has run up and up and up, and it just didn't stop, and it's pulled back, and it's been consolidating for some time here just below the 38% fib. I think we have a pretty safe bet to say that gold will at least make it to the 50% fib, which is $1088, $1,088. But look at where our 200 moving average is on this monthly chart. Now that is a very intense movement. It hasn't touched the 200 moving average on the monthly chart in over 10 years. It's been 12 years since the last time it touched that 200 moving average, and it's got a long ways to go before it even gets there. So we could see gold make an even bigger move, and we could see gold break below the $1,000 barrier, which could be tricky, could be difficult, but I could see that happening and make a nice little move down into this 200 moving average. I'm not really betting on that or counting on that, but I'll tell you what I am counting on is this 1088 level. 1088, 50% fib. I think we're going to get there. I think we're going to get there pretty quick. So we're going to be looking for opportunities to sell rallies. We want to sell the rallies on gold. We've got to keep a good eye on this 1180 level. But if it can stay below that, I would like to sell some rallies and continue trading this down to 1100 and ultimately to 1088, which I think is going to be a very, very good target. So that's what I'm looking for. That's what I think we have coming up, and we should see some very, very nice movements in the works there. So let's keep our eye on that. Last but not least, we have New Zealand dollar. I like being long above 80 or short below 7,700, but it's kind of in this middle of crazy town where we've got to be a little extra careful. So if we look at New Zealand dollar, here's our 80 level. You can see that this big run right here, we had some highs at the 23% fib or about 79.80 area. So we just came close to breaking 80. We peaked up above just a moment, but couldn't close above that. So if we start getting closes above around 79.80, 79.90, even the 80 level, that's great. We're coming down into a nice little double bottom. We had one little test here at 77, just shy of 7,700, 77.10, 77.05, and we're coming back down to it again. So we're going to see how it behaves at this 7,700. If it can hold, then it could be a great opportunity to buy this thing and get a little bit of a recovery to the upside. Otherwise, a break of 7,700 takes New Zealand dollar down into the 200 moving average of the monthly chart. We really don't have anything too significant stopping it going down there, and that's 70. That's a 70 level, so we could see a nice 700 pip trade, which I would love to get into. So we're looking for that. We've got some really nice setups, some really great things in the works, and I think we'll have some really fantastic trades this week. I'll try to keep everybody as updated as I can. I will be a little bit out of touch at least the first part of the week, Monday, Tuesday for sure. I will try to check in as much as I can, but at least get some good updates back by Wednesday, Thursday of this week, and maybe we can get a live non-farm payroll session going with everyone. Thanks a bunch, guys. Always a pleasure, and thanks for watching.